P. Diddy thought he was untouchable, a superstar, a billionaire, and someone no one dared to question. But now he's in the crosshairs of the justice system, and Cassie has given testimony that could put him behind bars for a long time. This isn't just a scandal, it's real evidence tearing down the myth of his invincibility. Hey everyone, welcome to Swamp Media. I'm Froginator, and today I'm breaking down how Sean Diddy Combs tried to bury the truth. But now, he's finally being forced to face it. Lies, manipulation, abuse of power, it's all coming to light. This is a story you don't want to miss. Hit that subscribe button. Here, we uncover the truth without sugarcoating it. And drop a like if you believe this story needs to be heard. Who is P. Diddy, and why should he have been stopped long ago? P. Diddy isn't just a name on magazine covers or a star on stage. Behind the flash of fame and the gold chains lies the story of a man who, for decades, bent the rules and often broke them for his own gain. While millions saw him as a successful artist and music mogul, the reality was far darker. Throughout his career, Diddy has found himself at the center of countless scandals, from accusations of violence to interfering with court cases, to suspected financial manipulation and behind-the-scenes power plays in the music industry. He's been hit with serious allegations more than once, threats of violence, shady deals, and using intimidation against his rivals. And for years, those stories stayed hidden, protected by his fame and powerful connections. One of the biggest blows to his carefully curated image came from Cassie, a woman who witnessed the darker side of his world firsthand. Her testimony broke the silence and made people ask the question, why hasn't Diddy been held accountable until now? But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Diddy has long faced claims of exploiting young talent, using his position to benefit himself, often at the expense of the very artists he was supposed to support. His empire wasn't built on music alone. It was built on fear, manipulation, and control. So why has he managed to escape consequences for so long? The answer is simple: money and power. His reach into business and even political circles allowed him to stay protected, while the world looked the other way. But things are changing. More voices are speaking up. More people are refusing to stay silent. Diddy should have faced accountability long ago. But he kept moving forward, believing he was untouchable. Now, as Cassie's testimony and others come to light, a new chapter begins. One where no amount of wealth or influence can protect someone who played with fire for far too long. The time for change is here, and P. Diddy is no exception. Secrets wrapped in gold. How Sean Combs bought silence for decades. Sean Combs, better known as P. Diddy, has long used his wealth and influence to cover up the truth and protect his carefully crafted public image. Behind the scenes, he repeatedly tried to handle anyone who threatened to expose the darker sides of his life. Hush money is a strategy, not an exception. According to multiple reports, Combs didn't just occasionally offer payouts. Buying silence was a calculated part of his damage control. Cassie Ventura, his former partner, revealed that she was offered large sums to drop her lawsuit and stay quiet. She turned down millions, refusing to trade her truth for money. Threats and pressure from his inner circle, former employees and assistants, say Combs used not only money but intimidation and indirect pressure through trusted associates. One ex-assistant, David James, claimed that Combs referred to Cassie as moldable and kept tight control over her actions, to the point of restricting her freedom. NDAs as a shield for abuse. Combs and his legal team frequently pushed victims to sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, in exchange for financial settlements. These contracts helped bury serious allegations of abuse and misconduct, keeping them hidden from the media and the public. Fear, manipulation, and psychological control beyond the money. Combs allegedly created a climate of fear, with threats of career destruction, public humiliation, and retaliation. Many women stayed silent not because they wanted to, but because they were terrified of what might happen if they spoke out. For years, Combs kept his secrets hidden behind cash and coercion. But now that wall is cracking, and the truth is finally starting to break through. Cassie's lawsuit. The first to speak up, or the first allowed to be heard? Cassie Ventura marked a major turning point in the case against Sean P. Diddy Combs. For years, the darker side of Combs' legacy was buried under silence. But her 2023 lawsuit opened the floodgates. Now people are asking, was she truly the first to come forward? Or just the first who was finally allowed to be heard? The beginning of a bombshell case. In August 2023, Cassie filed a lawsuit accusing Combs of abuse, sexual coercion, and attempting to buy her silence. The case made headlines, not just because of the allegations, but because it shattered the long-standing culture of fear and silence that had protected him. Until then, similar accusations had rarely made it into public view. Victims often stayed quiet, scared of retaliation, or crushed by the weight of his influence. Why Cassie? Cassie is a well-known singer and actress, and was in a long-term relationship with Combs. She had first-hand knowledge of his private behavior, which made her claims especially powerful. Experts say she had both the credibility and the resources to take such a bold step. But many believe Cassie's ability to speak out wasn't just about courage, it was also about access. Her visibility and industry connections gave her a platform that many other victims simply didn't have. Disturbing allegations and behind-the-scenes pressure. In her lawsuit, Cassie described not only physical and emotional abuse, but also efforts to silence her with large sums of money. She says she was pressured and threatened to withdraw her claims, part of what she called a long-standing pattern of control and cover-ups. The case also reveals that Combs allegedly used people in his inner circle to isolate Cassie and undermine her reputation, tactics that reportedly kept others from speaking out for years. Industry and public response, the lawsuit became a turning point. In the wake of Cassie's claims, the music industry started to take a second look at Combs, and other alleged victims found the strength to share their stories. Still, the case is far from over. Combs' legal team continues to deny all allegations and has attempted to discredit Cassie. Cassie may not have been the first to suffer, but she may be the first whose voice couldn't be silenced. FBI raids, just a show, or the end of untouchability? In March 2024, the world watched as the FBI stormed Sean P. Diddy Combs' lavish homes. This wasn't just a routine search. It was a full-scale federal operation that shocked even those used to Hollywood scandals and celebrity excess. How it all started: on March 18th, federal agents descended on Diddy's mansion in Holmby Hills, Los Angeles. Helicopters circled overhead. SWAT teams rolled in with armored vehicles. News crews captured the dramatic scene. Doors smashed open, safes cracked, and electronics, possibly containing incriminating evidence, carefully seized. Just a week later, similar raids took place at Combs' properties in Miami and New York, making it clear this was no isolated event. The investigation was nationwide and growing. What was found inside? Reports say agents found several shocking items: around 1,000 bottles of lubricant, including ones labeled for children, and 3 unregistered AR-15 rifles. Authorities also confiscated hard drives, phones, and other devices believed to contain evidence related to allegations of sexual exploitation and other crimes. How did Diddy respond? Publicly, Diddy remained mostly silent, aside from a few brief statements on social media calling the raids a witch hunt and a wrongful attack. His inner circle stayed quiet as well, avoiding further attention. Public reaction, however, was explosive. Some called for immediate justice. Others urged patience, waiting for real evidence and due process in court. What do these raids mean? To many, the raids signaled a turning point, a clear message that even the rich and powerful can't stay above the law forever. For the first time in decades, the image of untouchable celebrity wealth began to crack. Is this the fall of P. Diddy? That's up to the courts to decide, but the facts already speak volumes. Hollywood stayed silent, but everyone knew. For years, much of Hollywood and the music industry chose to look the other way. Major outlets like Rolling Stone and Billboard continued to cover Sean Diddy Combs' career while steering clear of his personal life and the growing whispers of abuse. Celebrities, including Jay-Z and Naomi Campbell, were regularly seen at his events, rarely if ever expressing concern. Even after the release of a shocking hotel surveillance video from 2016 showing Combs physically assaulting Cassie Ventura, many in the industry stayed silent. Combs later admitted to the violence, saying, "My behavior in that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions." Reactions and justifications. Some celebrities only began to distance themselves once the allegations became impossible to ignore. Leonardo DiCaprio, once a frequent guest at Combs' parties, stated through a representative that he had not had recent contact with Combs and was never involved in any illegal activity. Still, many others have remained quiet, despite the serious accusations and mounting evidence. A reckoning for the industry. The legal case against Combs has sparked a broader reckoning in the entertainment world, forcing people to ask hard questions. How was this kind of behavior allowed to continue for so long? What role did media, brands, and fellow artists play in upholding his public image? Now, as the truth comes to light, the industry is being called to confront its own complicity and to take real steps to ensure silence doesn't enable abuse in the future. The fall of an empire. How brands are fleeing a name they once worshipped. Ciroc. Revolt. Fashion houses. Once the symbol of luxury and power, Sean Diddy Combs is now toxic. Not long ago, Diddy was the face of polished success, a billionaire mogul surrounded by record labels, liquor brands, TV networks, and the support of the fashion elite. But by spring 2024, that empire began to collapse at full speed. Ciroc walks away. Perhaps the most iconic symbol of Diddy's commercial empire was his partnership with Ciroc Vodka, launched in 2007. He wasn't just a brand ambassador, he was the brand. Under his influence, Ciroc skyrocketed in popularity. But after mounting accusations of abuse and a high-profile lawsuit filed by Cassie, Diageo, Ciroc's parent company, cut ties in June 2023, stating, "We cannot continue a business relationship with Mr. Combs under these circumstances." The company also referenced troubling patterns of behavior, a rare public condemnation in the corporate world. Revolt TV turns against its founder, founded by Combs in 2013. Revolt TV was built as a voice for young black creatives and independent media. But in 2023, after the first lawsuit surfaced, the network scrubbed Combs' name from its website and issued an official statement. Revolt belongs to the community. We stand against all forms of abuse. Sean Combs is not involved in the day-to-day operations of the company. Later reports confirmed that Combs had effectively lost control of the media company, and investors had frozen all deals tied to his name. Fashion no longer welcomes him. Combs once graced the Met Gala red carpet, partnered with Dolce & Gabbana, fronted campaigns, and launched his own label, Sean John. But now, silenced. He was absent from the 2024 Met Gala. No fashion house has defended him. Sean John, once a streetwear staple, has gone quiet, losing distributors and industry support. Anonymous insiders put it bluntly. No brand wants to be near him. He's toxic. There's just too much dirt, and it keeps coming. A name no one wants on the contract. After the FBI raids and the release of a 2016 video showing Combs assaulting Cassie Ventura, made public in May 2025, even longtime allies began cutting ties. Production deals, label partnerships, and endorsement contracts have crumbled. Streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music haven't removed his catalog, but algorithmic support has disappeared. His songs are no longer being pushed. Search trends have tanked. Diddy's empire isn't collapsing because of one scandal. It's death by accumulation. Lawsuits, accusations, and the erosion of trust. The name once synonymous with success is now a liability. Victims speak out, the dark side. Drugs, control, and coercion, real testimonies. Not for the faint of heart. The May 2025 trial of Sean Diddy Combs in New York has revealed shocking details of alleged abuse and exploitation spanning years. Testimonies from his former partner Cassie Ventura and other witnesses have pulled back the curtain on the disturbing reality behind the glitz and glamour. Cassie Ventura's testimony: control, abuse, and blackmail. Cassie Ventura, Combs' former girlfriend, delivered an emotional testimony detailing years of physical and psychological abuse. She described being forced to take part in so-called freak-offs, drug-fueled sex parties involving hired male participants. According to Cassie, Combs used recordings of these encounters to blackmail her, threatening to leak them if she didn't comply with his demands. In one instance, in 2011, she said Combs demanded $20,000 and threatened to release intimate videos after learning about her relationship with rapper Kid Cudi. Cassie also testified about physical abuse, including a violent incident in a Los Angeles hotel hallway in 2016, where Combs allegedly beat her. The assault was reportedly captured on hotel surveillance cameras, and the judge has allowed the footage to be submitted as evidence. Testimony from a former assistant: drugs and coercion. David James, Combs' former personal assistant, corroborated Cassie's claims. He testified that he frequently saw Combs using drugs, including ecstasy and opioids, and was regularly instructed to deliver drugs, condoms, and other items to Combs' hotel rooms. James recalled finding Cassie unconscious after one of these parties, saying such scenes were not uncommon. Additional testimonies and evidence. Cassie's mother, Regina Ventura, also took the stand. She confirmed that in 2011, Combs demanded $20,000 and threatened to leak explicit videos of her daughter. Fearing for Cassie's safety, Regina and her husband took out a loan against their home to pay the money. The court was also shown photos of bruises on Cassie's body, which she said were from beatings by Combs. Other witnesses testified as well, including Danity Kane member Dawn Richard, who spoke of a toxic environment of abuse and heavy drug use within Combs' inner circle. These testimonies lay bare the horrifying truth hidden behind years of fame, a long pattern of abuse, manipulation, and fear. What was once kept in silence is now being heard in court. If Combs once used power and money to silence victims, now he must listen. The public wants answers, and there's no turning back. What's next? Criminal charges, court, and the end of Glossy lies. Criminal investigations are already underway. After the release of the surveillance footage showing Cassie being assaulted, CNN, May 2025, public pressure on law enforcement skyrocketed. Although her civil lawsuit was settled back in December 2023, the emergence of new video evidence, witness statements, and FBI raids has triggered a full-scale criminal case. Federal prosecutors and the FBI are actively investigating Combs for a wide range of serious offenses, including human trafficking, running a criminal enterprise, sexual assault and violent sexual acts, possession and distribution of illegal substances. According to CNN, the investigation spans over 15 years, and at least 8 women have come forward to testify, some now under witness protection. This isn't just a media spectacle. This is the beginning of the end for the culture of silence around wealthy predators, said a source close to the investigation, speaking to Rolling Stone. If human trafficking charges are upheld, Combs could face up to 20 years in prison. If the case proceeds to federal court, a life sentence is not out of the question. His reputation is dead, and it's not coming back. Even without a conviction, Combs's public image has already collapsed. No one wants to be associated with his name. Brands have cut ties, media is distancing itself, artists are staying silent or speaking out. Streaming platforms have quietly removed him from playlists. Even his public apology after the Cassie footage aired sounded more like damage control than genuine remorse. My actions were inexcusable. I'm sorry. I take full responsibility, he said in a video statement. But behind the scenes, neither Cassie nor her legal team received any direct apology. Combs is no longer the untouchable mogul who set the rules. Today, he's the central figure in a high-profile criminal investigation, a symbol of the double standards that protected powerful men for decades. This could mark the first time a major cultural icon faces real prison time for years of alleged abuse. The glossy lies are over. Now begins the truth. Harsh, legal, and with consequences. The final point. Diddy isn't the exception. He's the face of the system. This isn't just about one man. This is about a rotten culture of impunity. Diddy is just the tip of the iceberg. His case is exposing a much deeper and more disturbing truth within the entertainment industry, and far beyond it. Behind the glitter, fame, and luxury lies a system where power and money protect predators, silence victims, and bury crimes. For years, silence was bought with gold, and fear was enforced with force. Celebrities, corporations, and insiders looked the other way, because the truth threatened not just one man's image, but the profits of an entire machine. Diddy became a symbol of that machine, where talent and influence were weaponized into control and abuse. This isn't just a personal failure. It's the result of a culture built over decades, a system designed to shield powerful men while victims were left voiceless, a system where justice was delayed, denied, or quietly buried under fame and fortune. But now, with courts finally speaking and victims being heard, it's clear. This is just the beginning. The fight isn't just against one man. It's against a whole network of silence and immunity. If we truly want change, we need to understand Diddy is not the exception. He's the face of the system, and that system needs to be dismantled. If you found this video helpful or eye-opening, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really shows me that this kind of work matters, and inspires me to keep making more content that informs, empowers, and digs deeper. Thanks for your support.